Good afternoon, everybody. I see a lot of familiar faces, and I see some classrooms. I know some of you are getting ready for open house in a couple, in like an hour or so. So I love to see inside teachers' classrooms to see how they've prepared. So great to see you all. We are just letting a couple more people in and we'll get started as quickly as possible. We had about 40 teachers register. So just want to make sure that everyone has a chance to log in before we get started. Just also wanted to let you all know that this meeting is being recorded. We will be sharing this in our guidebook just in case. And if you have teachers that you know that couldn't make it today and like to share this recording, we'll give you access to that as well. But just wanted to make sure everybody knew, and I'm sure you get a little notice when you join to let you know. Perfect, perfect. We're gonna wait just one more minute and then we're gonna get started.
Do we want people to put in the chat where they're coming from?
Yeah, let's introduce everybody. So please put your name and school that you are representing today in the chat. So we have a list of who is here. And just have an idea of what schools everybody is representing. I see Claude Pepper is in the house. Hi, Susie, Palmer Trinity. And see you until now. Great, Jose Marti, biotech. Awesome. All right, I see some new schools. Awesome, great. If you're just joining us, we're about to get started. Please put your name and your school in the chat. And we're want to make sure everybody's in and know who's in the room. Hello, everybody. My name is Barbara Martinez Guerrero. I am being joined by Alexander Grunbaum. We are the Dreamin' Green team. We are so happy to have you all joining us today. I still see a couple people in the waiting room that we are letting in. If you're just coming in, as you could see in the chat, we're asking everyone to please put their name in the school they're representing, just to see who's in the room. I see we have elementary, middle, and high. Awesome. And welcome to those that have never participated with us, but I see also just want to say welcome back. I see so many familiar faces and so many familiar names. We're ready for another year. So with that, I think, Alex, right? It is 4:04. We have about more than half of our registered teachers, so maybe let's get started.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, hopefully we can end a little bit early so that all the elementary teachers can get to their open house on time. So welcome everybody. Thank you so much for giving up a little bit of your time to join us today. We are super excited to be kicking off the 25-26 year of the Green Schools Challenge. This will actually be our 19th year, so hopefully you stick around for the following year when we do the big 2-0. So we're looking forward to that. So thank you guys so much for joining us. For those that are not familiar with who Dreamin' Green is, we are a nonprofit based out of Miami, but we do service all of South Florida. And our mission is really to empower individuals to respond to climate change and other environmental challenges facing South Florida. We do service all ages, but our programming mainly focuses on youth on the K through 12 school programs. We just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. As a nonprofit, our work is not possible without sponsors and funders. So we just want to call out the funders this year to be able to continue providing these programs for free to schools, including the Green Schools Challenge and also our grant program for schools. So the Green Schools Challenge, if you are new to the program or need a refresher, what it is a whole system program for K through 12 schools where we really want to engage the whole student and school body on, hands-on activities to really save energy, water, and waste as well at school, and really want to teach them about the links between the natural resources, climate change, the environment, and whole community sustainability. So like I said, we've been doing this for 19 years, since 2006. So this is kind of our impact, just specifically in Miami-Dade County Public Schools, which is where we started out with a 3-school pilot program. And now we service over 120, 30 schools every year. We have expanded over the last few years to include Broward County and then also Palm Beach County. And this year we are actually trying to tap into Orange County Public Schools up in Orlando. So we are seemingly following the Bright Lines path, taking up over the state. So we will see how that goes. Just to give you kind of a snapshot of the Green Schools Challenge and the program and what it really is and the benefits that we're providing to schools. So the program is really, we're providing support to schools through, teacher trainings like this that we provide, and also online curriculum that Barbara, myself, and our partners and a team of volunteers and interns worked all summer to prepare, that we'll go through a bit later. An online guidebook where you'll find everything that you need to complete the program, including, recordings like this. We do offer site visits as well for some schools that need additional training or getting, the rest of the teachers on board. We're happy to do that. And then, as I mentioned, we do offer small grants to schools for environmental projects, but we'll go into more detail about those a little bit later. The curriculum that we've designed, it is aligned with the Florida State Standards of Teaching. So all of the lessons that we provide include the benchmarks inside the lessons. So hopefully it's something you can just take and implement right away in your classrooms. And the whole point of the program is really to increase environmental literacy, and really help students to develop other skills, including, leadership, teamwork, and critical thinking skills by completing these lessons and activities, because we really want to empower them to become environmental stewards and make conscious decisions when it comes to the environment and conservation. We do celebrate the successes of the program because, as the name mentions, it is a challenge, the Green Schools Challenge. So all items or all activities and lessons you'll be completing or have points associated with it. So every submission that you complete does go towards a point system. So we celebrate top scoring schools at the end of the year. We like to host an award ceremony event where we give out prizes, trophies, banners, that kind of thing. And then on the other side of it is, we do want to increase building efficiency as well, not just, tapping into the students and the teachers and the, facilities and administrators to get them thinking about the environment, but also to improve the overall, occupants' health of school buildings, because we know so many people are spending so much time out of the day, out of the year inside these school buildings. So we want to make sure that we're conserving those, resources, that water, that energy, and then having that money go back into the schools for other things, not just wasting them on utilities. So I just want to quickly call out, because I know that there are a couple of the teachers in the room today, but these are the winners from last year. So, claps and snaps to those that are here. We're super excited that you're coming back. We do want to call out that we did have quite a few Palm Beach schools this year or last year place in the top, 10 and 15 place for the Green Schools Challenge. So the competition is getting real. They are real contenders. So we invite, everybody to keep up the competitiveness this year. So congratulations to all those winners from last year. So these are the online guidebooks that we have created or updated for this year. All the lessons are new for the 25-26 school year, and we'll go through those towards the end of the session today. But we do have, for those that are new, we do have 3 kind of online guidebooks, one for the elementary, one for the middle, and one for the high school. So within these 3 guidebooks, the framework are all the same. The submission forms are all the same, just the actual lessons and some of the activities are different and geared towards the specific age groups.
And
if anybody has,
oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Go
no, I
ahead.
was just going to say, if anybody has any questions, feel free to, drop them in the chat. We're very informal. So, if you have a question, we're happy to help you and answer that in real time.
And I was just going to say, I think this might be a good time to put our poll and see who's in the room. And so you should have see on your screen a question just to know how many years you've participated. I want to see who are our veteran teachers, who are our rookie teachers. And the idea is to give you guys a chance to learn from each other, especially those first year teachers that might be unsure how to move forward with the program.
Don't be scared.
Yeah, we have some amazing teachers in the room that can definitely help you. And we have just a few more. I think somebody responded in the chat, which is great. Perfect. And here we go. I'm going to give it just about 30 more seconds. And it's interesting to see, we have kind of either the most is our veteran teachers, but we also have a lot of first year or 1 year. And then Lourdes, I see you. So if you have a question right now, you can either put it in the chat or just take yourself off of mute. If at any time during the program, during the year, you have any questions, Alexandra would be the one to reach out to. You could also call us, but I think because we're such a small team, sometimes we're out of the office. And so I'm going to put her email in the chat right now. So if anybody after this or has any questions or throughout the year. So I am going to end poll right here. And it seems like, let me just share so you all can see. Like I said, we have our veteran teachers. Woohoo! Love to see that we have a lot of 6 or more years participating. But also love that we have a lot of my first year, or this might be their second year. So with that, Alex, we can continue, and we'll keep that in mind moving forward.
Yeah, and through going back to the question of who to contact, yeah, we're here year round to provide support, so feel free to reach out at any time. I'm hoping that you have already received at 1, 2, or maybe even 3 emails from me at this point already, if you registered for your school and or signed up for this workshop. So, but let me know if you didn't, so I make sure I have you on my email list. So this is kind of the structure that we have set up for the Green Schools Challenge. This does not change from year to year. The only thing that changes are the actual lessons. But this is kind of the structure that we follow. It is a year-long program, so we do start the year off there on the left side. August and September, we do professional development training. So this is the first one that we're doing, and then we are going to do an in-person one on September 20th in Miami Gardens. That is a Saturday. And that one, it'll just be a more extended version of this one. So don't feel you need to attend both. But if you have other teachers interested, they can attend that training. And for Miami-Dade County Public Schools, it is up on Frontline for master plan points. So So we start the year with the PDs, and then we ask, the teachers to go back into the schools and really implement the program. And the first step is to kind of do our three pillars that we set up for the beginning of the year, which you'll see there in light blue. So to really set the structure for the Green Schools Challenge, we ask that you set up a green team and create a green pledge at your school. And then the next one is to complete an environmental self-assessment, and then finally set an environmental goal. So that's kind of done at the beginning of the year. And then throughout the year, we do have 6 topics, 6 themes that we have. They're in light gray: energy efficiency and conservation, water quality and conservation, waste reduction and recycling, green living, alternative transportation, and food security. So there is a lesson for each of those 6 themes. One at the middle and high school level, respectively, and then 3 at the elementary level. So just for example, for energy efficiency, we have a lesson for pre-K and first grade, another lesson for second and third grade, and then another lesson for fourth and fifth grade. And so that's the structure for all 6 of them. So then after you've completed these kind of monthly challenges, these lessons, in April, we ask you to host the Eco Summit. It coincides with Earth Month. And then, as I mentioned already, we do an end of the year awards ceremony, usually at the end of May, where we highlight the winners and celebrate the successes for the year.
We're going to go into more details of
On all of this, yes.
So don't think that that's it, and now we're going to throw you out there. But I do want to mention, and we'll mention it again, about the teacher professional development that is happening on September 20th. We know it's on a Saturday, so we will be providing breakfast. We also have a time where we will have a partner fair. So during that time, part of that time, there will be about 45 minutes to an hour where you can meet different partners, which we will talk about and show who our partners are this year. But we're in the process of confirming with them who will come. I know that one of our county partners, Eel, is looking into providing plants for all attendees during that day. And so, we want to be able to provide additional resources and some goodies. I know in previous years we had like a book giveaway. We've done kind of different things so that you go home with a lot of resources and information, not just from us, but from other partners that provide different services in Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. So if you are able to come, we try to make it north this time to help with those Broward and Palm Beach schools, and we did last year in the south. But the times, Alex, it's 9:30 to 12:30. Yes, you put it on there, and those are, again, 3 hours in which we will go through a lengthier presentation. We will do some more discussions. We'll have the resource fair. We'll have breakfast, and we'll get to meet you all in person, face to face, if we haven't already. So that's a great event to connect with other teachers as well.
So going back to this is a challenge, so we do have scoring set up for every activity or lesson that we're asking you to complete. So for example, this will be the beginning of the year activities, so it's going to be kind of what you saw on that timeline on the left-hand side. So attending a PD or watching the training video. So all of you, that's why we ask what school you're from, because you'll automatically get those 10 points for being here already just by showing up. And then the other 3 are those 3 pillars that we talked about. So you can see the possible points that are associated with each, and then how many you can get. In previous years, we did have kind of like different deadlines and due dates, but we've simplified it a few years ago just to have one due date for all activities, which is going to be the last Friday in April of 2026. So while we think that it's better to complete kind of these pillars in the beginning of the year because it really sets the groundwork for the Green Schools Challenge for the rest of the year, If you don't get a chance to actually submit your proof or your evidence until later, that's totally fine. Anything that you want to count towards points is going to be due that last Friday in April, and you'll be getting reminders about it. So no need to worry about it. And we'll send out a copy of this presentation as well, so you don't need to be taking too many notes or pictures of it. So the first pillar, like I said, is the establishing a green team and then creating a green pledge. So a green team, you know, the success of the program obviously is heavily dependent on, you know, how many people you can involve, or you know, if there's one person, one teacher taking it on, your ability and your enthusiasm for the program. So we find that being able to create a green team, a community at your school, is going to really help the success of the program. So if there are other teachers that you can involve, if there are facility staff, if there are administrators, if there are parents, we have some some teachers work with the parents on the PTA that help them complete some of the activities. That's a great resource if you have a great PTA at your school. And then involve students at the middle and high school level. We have a lot of schools that have, you know, students take this on during their club times, their environmental clubs. So really kind of delegating some of the activities to your green team kind of help lighten the load off of you and gets more of the school, the student body involved. So here are just
before we go on, yes, finish, and then I want to ask a question.
Okay. No, I was just going to say that these pictures are some examples of some pledges that we've had in the past. Banners tend to be the most popular. We've had schools do morning announcements. We've had them create some kind of like handouts to take home to parents and their community members, do a tree planting. It's really up to the school. There's no framework for what your green pledge should look like. Just the banners tend to be the most popular because we encourage it to be something school-wide for the whole school to see that you're taking on this, you know, Green Schools Challenge, that this is what you're committing to. You know, you want the students to be involved with the environment, with conservation. And so usually something like a banner is easy to do because you can put it up in the hallway. Everybody can sign it during lunchtime or whenever. So that tends to be what we see the most. Yeah, Barbara.
And actually, my question is related to those pledges and those banners, because I know someone asked, like, do we create our own pledge? And so for teachers that have participated with us in the past, you know, I pose this question to you: what are some of the items or the pledges, the wording that you all use? What are some of the things that you have found more successful? Do you do it with the students and they come up with the pledge, or do you have a set pledge? You can either come off mute or maybe put it in the chat. I think that would be very helpful, especially for those first year teachers or teachers that you know, are in their second year. So Pam, I saw you come off mute.
We usually let the kids try to come up with the pledge. And we've done a poster before. We've done like a tablecloth that people can sign. We've had where people put sticky notes. And while you were talking, I was thinking about this year. This year, I think what I want to do is get like a life-size Lorax, and they can put their pledges on the Lorax.
Oh, I love that.
My idea for this year.
That's a great idea, Fab. And I know you're in high school, so those kinds of things work for elementary, middle, and high, right? I saw somebody else, Desiree, also works with her students, and definitely explain to them the goals that they want to accomplish. Anybody else would like to come off mute or raise their hand or put it in the chat? Carrie, perfect. So you work with the Green Club students, and they make an upcycled banner or poster. Great idea. That upcycling is one of our themes this year, I know, for high school specifically. No worries, Desiree. The chat works well. Any other suggestions in terms of wording? Betty says there's also a sample on our website. Yes, I think you meant our website, right? Um, so yes, you can use the sample pledge that we have. And yeah, feel free to continue sharing a banner. Excellent. A virtual pledge. Interesting.
Yeah, we had that during COVID. Yeah, a couple of schools did that.
Awesome. Great. Well, keep it going and we'll keep going.
So then after you set up your green team and your green pledge, we're asking you to complete an environmental self-assessment. And I think I saw someone ask in the chat if there's like a form or anything like that. So besides the green pledge, there is a form for everything. We do use Google Sites and Google Forms. So anything that you're going to be submitting for points, there will be a Google form associated with, so that we've already created that you'll just have to answer, and then I will get your responses and then tally up your scores. So we try to keep it as easy and accessible as possible. So the environmental self-assessment. So we're asking schools to kind of look at your, current sustainability efforts and practices, and kind of get a feel of where you're at in regards to energy, water, waste, and then also outdoor space use. Because we really want you to see, where, there's space for improvement. Originally, we did take the assessment in part from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. They run the Green Apple Designation Program. And that's a program where schools can get designation if they excel in these categories of energy, water, and waste, and I think also air quality at their schools. And then that's kind of the state level. And then the U.S. Department of Education has their own green school designation called the Green Ribbon designation. So just a note, though, that currently, to our knowledge, the Green Apple designation at the state level is currently on hold. We're waiting to hear kind of what the situation is with that, but I'm sure everyone's well aware with, the current administration's policies that program has been put on pause. So if we get any update, we'll definitely share that. But in the meantime, our self-assessment is there and readily available for you to take a look at what your practices are, and where you kind of want to focus for the environment. Oh, sorry.
Go back one, sorry, before, I just want to make sure that everybody understands that that form is like you personally might not be able to answer all of these questions. So we have tried to break it down into categories of who would be the best person to ask, and we even have a section in which students can basically, do the assessment of like how many gardens do we have, different questions. This is a good way to involve your facilities and your administrator, because again, some of these questions you might not know. For example, I think we have one on there about when was the last time your HVAC system was checked or serviced, right? As a classroom teacher, that's not something you usually know. But don't worry, just because you don't know an answer does not mean you're going to lose points for not knowing the answer. And so if you leave something blank, we try to have you put as much information as you are able to in there. And so I know I see one question here about the Green Schools Recognition Program. Yes, and we will be discussing that a little later. But yes, we are working with the school district on two things in Miami-Dade for Miami-Dade Public Schools, as well as if you're a Broward teacher and a Palm Beach teacher. There are also other support that we are providing for their own designation programs at the school district level. So yes, we'll get to that in a little bit.
So the third pillar is setting your environmental goal for the year. So when we kind of envision the pillars, when we set these back up way back when, we we're thinking that you would use the environmental self-assessment to see where there was room for improvement in your sustainability efforts at the school and to set a goal for the year. So these are kind of the categories that we have set up. So we ask that you set a goal for the year, something that is actionable, something that is trackable, measurable for the year. And then at the end of the year, we're going to get your feedback on what did and didn't work. But, you know, we ask that you set a goal that falls under one of these categories. And they can really be, you know, whatever you're interested in working on. So we've had, you know, teachers set goals of, you know, creating an edible garden or an outdoor classroom, setting up a, you know, a recycling initiative at their school to, or, you know, installing a refillable water bottle station in their schools or transitioning all light bulbs to high efficiency or LED bulbs. And then the last one is a green school designation, if whether that's at the school district level, the state level, or the national level as well.
And just to answer the question, it's not one goal per category, it's just one of those
One.
categories. Just choose one. So during the environmental self-assessment, if you see, you know what, I really don't know about our energy. Like, do we have LED bulbs? Do we, you know, do we monitor our spending? Are we getting you know, our electric wattage? And maybe I want to explore that. Then you're just focusing on the goal, creating a goal for energy conservation. You don't have to do one for 5. We don't have to do one for each. It's just pick one from those 5 categories. Maybe this year you want to improve your garden. I just talked to a teacher where they're looking to expand some of their gardens. And so that's what they're going to work on, just environmental, the environmental improvement. So yes, again, not all, just one. And then, yes, thank you. Administration, custodians, zone mechanics can definitely help with that environmental self-assessment for Pillar 2. Thank you. Those are the people to know.
So that covers kind of the beginning of the year activities. And then, so these are kind of the meat of the Green Schools Challenge are those 6 themes that we talked about before. So there is a lesson plan for each of the 6 themes, and then the total possible points for each of those are 10 points. A few years ago, we introduced the concept of creating your own lesson plan. Because while we do work hard to create this curriculum for you, but we know that there are teachers out there that are already doing, you know, lessons in sustainability rooted in transportation or food security. So if you have a lesson that you're already doing, we want to give you credit for doing that. So you don't necessarily have to choose the lesson that we've provided. So you can definitely choose the create your own option.
And
but
we
you just
do
need to
take a look. Go
Oh
ahead, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
we do. Yeah, no, I'll tag on to that we have gotten inspiration or used some of your lessons in future curriculum as well. So we appreciate seeing what kind of activities and lessons you're doing in your classroom. And then I just want to point out again, this is just going to be one activity per 6 themes. So, you know, even though like at the elementary level, we do offer 3 different lessons for each of the topics, you're only asked to do one. You can do as many as you want, but we can only award points for one. So just keep that in mind. And then anything that has a score associated with it, we've developed rubrics just to increase transparency so you know exactly where, you know, we're getting those 10 points, how we're getting the scores. So that's something that we keep in our record as you are submitting them. Through these Google Forms, we look through them, we grade them, we score them. If you ever have a question on the score or on your points, you're able just email me and I can let you know where you're at. I can share your score sheets anywhere throughout the year.
And I know in previous years, we always get a suggestion of sending out the score sheets. The issue with that, the difference between some of the other programs is some of the other programs have varying deadlines. And so they're able to share once they have one deadline passed. Since we have only one deadline at the end of the year, you know, it's very hard for us to send those because a lot of schools don't have or don't submit until, you know, almost the end of the year. Now, if you're unsure about whether you've submitted something and has it reached us, did you get full points? Then Alexandra can definitely share that information. And we're glad to do it. But I know that I just wanted to address that because I know a lot of teachers always want to know why we don't send out score sheets throughout the year, but it's because of our one deadline. So it's very difficult to collect all of that information and send it piecemeal. But again, anytime you want to confirm if we received something or what your score is, please reach out to us.
And just keep in mind, sometimes we have 150 schools. So if I need to prepare 150 score sheets multiple times through the year and email them to you all, that takes a bit of work too. This is just a snapshot of what a lesson looks like. Just to give you, the format is going to be the same for all of the lessons. They all have a title, an objective, any materials that you will need, including any kind of presentations, videos, worksheets. That is all provided here. You can see in the blue links. We've calculated kind of the estimated time needed, how many class periods we think a lesson like this would take. Any background information of vocabulary we think is relevant, the procedure, some guiding questions. And then the evaluation is what you would submit to us through that Google form. And then we want to provide you with any additional resources. Sometimes we do provide extensions, which are optional, or special opportunities or bonus activities, which we'll talk about afterwards. That would also be in here. And then, as you can see here, the benchmarks that we have aligned this lesson with. So hopefully this is kind of like, you know, everything you would need is just a one-stop shop inside the lesson plan. And it'll link out to any PDFs or videos that you would need to complete this activity.
And just, I want to give out a shout out to, because we'll go into the lessons a little bit more, but I want to give a shout out to two amazing students we worked with this summer. Two high schools students that participated through the summer youth internship program from Coral Reef Senior High and Robert Morgan Ed Center. It was really interesting to see their ideas of what they would like to see in their classrooms or what they would like to teach others. So that's where we got our inspiration for a lot of the lessons this year. And a lot of the PowerPoint presentations and the worksheets were created by our high school students here locally. And so just wanted to give them a really big shout out because we were so proud of the products that they produced.
So a few years ago, we introduced the concept of bonus activities because we know that a lot of schools and a lot of students and a lot of teachers are already doing something related to sustainability or the environment. And we wanted to be able to reward you with points towards the Green Schools Challenge. So we've put together kind of a list of what tends to be the most popular bonus activities that teachers tend to do. There is a separate list for elementary. I know this one says middle and high, but there's another list for elementary. So it's somewhat similar, but there's some that are only for the little kids in there. But this is for Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach. So if you're participating in any of these additional activities, you'll complete a bonus activity submission form and then you'll get those additional points. So we know a lot of schools participate also in the Fairchild Challenge. We know that they also do the Everglades Literacy Program from the Everglades Foundation. If you are participating in any kind of beach cleanup, like the International Coastal Cleanup or creating your own cleanup, park cleanup, Anything related to Earth Day or Earth Hour, if there's a science fair competition, a SECME competition, that we want to give you points for. So this is not an end-all list. There may be things that are not on here. So we welcome those activities that are not on this list as well. When you go to the form, there will be, and I'll show you afterwards, there'll be a drop down that includes all of these and then an option for others. So if there's something that's not on this list, don't worry. We still want to give you points for it. And then I just want to call out that for this particular concept, the bonus activity, there is a cap at 50 points. And I did have a school last year reach the 50 points. I did have to nix the last 1 or 2 activities that she submitted because she did reach 50 points. So just, it is attainable.
And to build up on that, I know that there's a lot of very competitive teachers. And we always get the question, especially, you know, a lot of the Palm Beach and Broward school teachers that are just starting to participate with us, they always want to know, what can we do? And all we can tell you is, you know, the top schools that we've seen do a combination of the lessons and bonus activities to get those points to reach kind of that top tier. So again, these bonus activities are not a requirement, but if you go through it and it goes to somebody asked about the Green Schools Recognition Program, some of the things that you can submit to go along with the Green Schools Recognition Program are things that are listed here, and can help you with that that application. But for us, the maximum you would be able to get, as Alexander said, is 50 points for these.
And then that brings us to the end of the year activities. So we will send out a survey at the end of the year, usually in April. I'll send out a survey. We definitely rely on your feedback, and you know, we want to make this program better and better. And we like to think that, you know, we put in your input, and that's how we've made it for the last almost 20 years now. And then, as I mentioned in the beginning, we ask you to hold the Eco Summit at your school in April. And then to assess that goal that you set at the beginning of the year is another possible 20 points. So you won't be dinged or anything if you don't achieve your goal. We just want some feedback on your challenges, your successes, how we could help, maybe what your plan is for next year, if you're going to try and achieve it next year, that kind of thing. So don't think if you didn't achieve the goal, you're not going to lose any kind of points. We just want, you know, to hear your feedback on how it went.
Just to build on that, we are going to be trying to send out quarterly like optional surveys to gauge where teachers are at. What usually happens is, obviously at the beginning of the year, there's a lot of you know, enthusiasm and participation, and then obviously testing comes around and all of that, and you know, things get pushed to the side. So this year we're going to be sending out quarterly surveys to help you kind of see where you are at and what additional help you might need to keep you motivated throughout the year.
And so just to expand on the Eco Summit, this is, you know, an optional activity that could get you those 20 additional points. We usually have this fall around April because we know, you know, after March, testing season begins. So we're not really asking you to do anything too much that takes up too much of your time or the students' time. So in Eco Summit, we kind of tie it in with Earth Month. It's an optional activity where students, we really want to showcase what they've been doing throughout the year to either the school or to the community. We want them to, you know, educate and to facilitate a discussion and all their hard work, and show that to the parents or their community members. So some examples that we've had in the past, a lot of schools do like a STEAM or a STEM night, a family night. So they like to showcase the students' work then. We've had schools put on eco fashion shows, so kind of upcycling, creating outfits out of recyclable material or trash and doing a fashion show. any kind of Earth Day celebration, doing a tree planting. We've had some high schools before host kind of a student symposium where they invite guest speakers from, the environmental community to come address the students. So there's no, just like with the pledge, there's no like set rule on what it has to look like. These are just what we've received in the past that tend to be the most popular. So we kind of leave it open to what you want to do. So in previous years for high schools, we've done kind of a separate event, a youth eco summit, where we invite high schools to kind of one centralized location where they can table and showcase their efforts. So the last 2 years we did it at the Frost Science Center in downtown Miami. So we were still trying to decide where to do it this year. So that is TBD at the moment, but we'll probably do that. But high schools do not have to participate in that. If there's something you want to do at the school, that's totally okay as well. We just want to give an opportunity for students to get together from different high schools and showcase their initiatives and their efforts at the school. Anything else, Barbara?
I would love to have, if other teachers have ideas for what they've done in their own Eco Summit, and would like to share, to kind of take a moment to get off mute or to put it in the chat. Again, since we do have quite a few newer teachers, suggestions definitely help on how to do an Eco Summit. So does anybody have any, any story or any feedback or any suggestions for how they have done their Eco Summit that they can share? Again, offline, just get offline or write it in the chat.
Hi. What I usually do for the Eco Summit is I keep all of the things we've done throughout the year and I save it and then I put like by month. So I'll put like the alternative transportation, the food security, and I'll put kind of like the things the kids did and any other resources that we talked about or anything we printed. And then I kind of decorate with a little earth plushie or things like that so that the kids that pass by it can see and learn from what we've done all year. And I usually put it in the cafetorium, as I call it. So that way all the kids that don't get to be in green team get to see what we do.
Love that. Yes, make it public. Great. Are there any teachers or schools that invite parents to an example of, like, for example, a STEAM night or a symposium that they have?
I'll go. I'm Jenna from Ludlam Elementary. We did our Eco Summit at our STEAM night. And last year our theme was under the water anyway. So we did a complete water conservation Eco Summit. We included students' Earth Day projects of their upcycled art, things like that. We also assigned different classes, different reports on different animals, ocean animals, endangered species, conservation in general. We also, the whole school got together. We adopted a sea turtle. We sold stickers, $1 each to adopt a sea turtle, and we kind of unveiled that at our Eco Summit for the parents. So we turned our library into a whole underwater exhibit that the parents got to walk through at our STEAM night.
Awesome. Love that.
Yes.
I see.
I have to
go
say,
ahead.
she's amazing because she's done those videos and I've seen them and it looks like you're actually like in an underwater like just dream. It's amazing. So it also helps if you like open up and ask your faculty and staff, hey, is anybody good in videos? Is anybody good in PowerPoints? Like definitely have like a teamwork dream team with you at your school. I think it's very important. I miss you, Jenna. Bye.
And I'm seeing some other ideas in the chat as well. So teachers are invited to bring their classes on or after lunch to the showcase area, inviting parents to their Eco Summit so that the students get a chance to really show off what they've done. Recycling fashion show, great idea. Various games for students to participate. Jenna, there's a question here for you. How do you get the the more people in your school involved? What's the secret sauce? Or how do you ask?
Okay. Oh, let me start my video. Sorry.
No worries.
So basically I have a green team here, and I just incorporate it pretty much into our daily life here, on the morning announcements. Everything that we do is just it's not like all these separate events. It's just kind of an ongoing thing to just create that culture within the school. And any event that we have, or something that we can kind of link on to make it go with what we're doing, or anything, we just kind of find those spaces to get everybody involved. So it really truly is the entire school, from VPK to fifth grade, that's participating in everything. And our Eco Summit, we had art from, like I said, from VPK. The fifth graders were doing, a little more involved work, doing research on different endangered species, stuff like that. So, but it's, just getting the entire school involved. And then with the sea turtle, that kind of made it personal for them, because we got a turtle with a name and everything. And so they all wanted to, stop using plastics and single-use straws and all of these things. And, you teach these to kids, they're going to go home and they're going to be like, no, don't use that, because that's going to hurt our turtle, so that
Oh, yeah.
really was a good way to link it in with the kids. Is we got this big giant plush sea turtle that's now in our library for doing that. So now they kind of have an emotional and personal connection to a animal that they want to help.
So yes, visuals are really important, right? Desiree, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to add and just piggyback on that. Because I'm in a new school since last, and we started here doing the Dream and Green, and a lot of teachers did not know what it entailed. And having STEAM, a lot of the teachers get very stressed out. So I went up to their room, I took time from my time, and I just sat them down and I explained to them, you could incorporate your STEAM lessons with this. Don't get stressed out. I'm here to help you. So, a lot of the STEAM things that you're already doing the whole year, you just add it on to the Dream and Green. You could change it up a little, or you can modify whatever you want. But, that helped me get teachers on board, and just, let them know that this is not a stressful thing. It's a fun thing, and let's work together. So that was just my take on it.
That's very great. Perfectly said. And I see also, I would suggest getting your STEM or STEAM liaisons involved. I know in Palm Beach, they have green champions at each school. So convincing them and being the ambassador for the program and seeing how they can connect it. Love the idea that Carrie put on about joining it with the Everglades Literacy. If you're going for an Everglades champion, there is a way that you can join these things together and make it really impactful for your school. Thank you. If you have other ideas, please put it in the chat. PTA is also great. And I think we're going to continue.
And then to top off the year, we'll host an award ceremony again. So just as I mentioned before, we're here to celebrate successes. We want to highlight those top scoring schools from all 3 of the counties. We also like to call out specific individuals, amazing teachers, certain students that helped you lead the green team, administrators and facility staff that were really supporting the program throughout the year. So actual date and location TBD again, but it will take place usually the end of May 2026. And then I'll just mention a little bit about the Green Leadership Grants. So this is a program where we provide small grants to schools in support of green projects that you want to do at your school. So the grants are limited to $350. And so these proposals are, again, everything is online on the Google site. We'll go through that afterwards. But we're asking you to share kind of what the project is that you want to complete, kind of what the, share a proposal with us, the timeline, and kind of the budget that you're breaking down. So some of the examples that we've had for projects in the past, gardens honestly tend to be the most popular, whether butterfly or edible gardens. They tend to be the ones that we fund the most, but we've also had teachers purchase, recycling bins for their classrooms, rain barrels for their gardens, um, electric hand dryers for the bathrooms to minimize paper towel waste. What's another one? A bike rack for the school to increase biking to school. So again, there are many, many options. The project that you have that you're going to propose just has to fit under one of those 6 monthly themes. So energy, wastewater, transportation, food security, and green living. Then a number of years ago, we introduced another type of grant. These are a bit smaller. This is the competition grant, and these are capped at $150. And the purpose of these is really to support if there's any kind of registration or travel fees for like local competitions or state competitions that your school wants to participate in. So I know there's registration fees for, the SECME and the Science Fair. Also for if you do the South Florida Envirothon, I know there's some high school teachers do that. There's also fees for that. So we just want to take away, any hindrance of you participating in those things by providing these types of grants. And then also for the high schools, for the design and build competition, when we talk about that, those grants cover the material costs. So we've been super fortunate to get funding year after year for this program. And we've been able to give away over $100,000 to K through 12 schools to support these kinds of projects. So we're super excited to keep it going and to give it back to the schools.
And as we're moving along, because again, we want to get you guys out maybe a little bit earlier than our 6 o'clock. If you have submitted for these types of grants from Green Leadership Grants, please share with us in the chat maybe projects that you have submitted for that are not the example ones we have if you have something different. At the middle and high school level, just kind of like the green pledges, what some teachers mentioned, we highly encourage that the students are the ones that come up with the initiative that they want to get funding for, so they have that experience of working together, creating a budget, creating a timeline, and setting goals for what they want to do through that grant. So again, please share with us in the chat other ideas for what you've submitted in the past and what you've used those Green Leadership Grants for at your school that maybe we didn't highlight in this slide.
So besides the Green Leadership Grants, kind of everything that we've talked about is kind of the core part of the Green Schools Challenge. Kind of moving forward, these are some of the next few slides are going to be special opportunities or special competitions that we have, created or cultivated over the years that are exclusively for the schools that are enrolled in the Green Schools Challenge. So the Design and Build competition is a competition for high schools only, and this will be our 7th year.
Yes.
Doing 7th year doing the Design and Build competition. And so the purpose of this is to have high school students kind of redesign an area thinking about green buildings and green design. This year, the task changes every year. This year, they will be tasked with designing a net zero elementary school in their district. So they're going to have to do research, they're going to have to find a location for that school, and then they're actually going to have to build a 3D model. We invite all the teams to an in-person event in March where a panel of judges will talk to the students, hear about their design, look at their model, and judge them. And then we do give away awards for the top scoring schools. We ask that you register by December. And then, as I mentioned already, we do cover the materials for the model. So this is open to all, schools in Miami-Dade, Broward County, and Palm Beach. And I know I just mentioned that the event will be in person. I know we're trying to figure out possibly doing something virtual so we can include the Palm Beach and the Broward schools as well. so that they can participate and also be part of the judging process. So, so the event might actually look a little bit different this year if you've been participating in the past, but the first steps are to register the team if you're interested, up to 2 teams per school, and then work on the design and the model, and then we will keep you informed on what we're going to do for the actual event.
And some of these students, just to do really quickly before the Green Homes, we've seen actually one of our interns, and I know Miss Goody is here, one of our interns kind of heard about us through the design and build competition. And so this year, we are also looking, sorry, with my big dog, I apologize if you heard him. But the idea is that we will have some sort of support for those that are just, you know, this is their first introduction to design and architecture. And sorry, I'll let you, Alex, and see who's knocking at the door. I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. Something that we introduced last year is the Green Homes Challenge. And again, these are all kind of optional, additional, you know, opportunities and resources we want to provide, but we are trying to create more of a connection to the home. So the school to home connection, we're trying to strengthen. So we're trying to get, you know, these activities to extend beyond the classroom. So in a number of these lessons, there is a flyer to share with parents, kind of what the students are doing in their schools, and how they can at home either, you know, conserve water, conserve energy, and how to, you know, decrease their waste or increase their recycling efficiently. So again, that's something that we're trying, and hopefully, you know, we're getting more parents involved and getting this sustainability movement to get into the homes as well beyond the schools.
And we have a letter, I don't know if you mentioned it, but
Yeah.
that you can share with your parents, English, Spanish, and Haitian Creole. And we will be giving, we will be raffling off prizes every month for those parents, for those families that share what they're doing with us. So more to come, with more flyers to come on that.
So we just want to kind of call out our partners for the year. So we work hard to create relationships and solidify, you know, solid partners throughout South Florida that kind of align with our mission and our efforts. So the partners that you see here, you know, some of them are school district partners, some of them are, you know, we partner with curriculum, some of the lessons we utilize some of their resources, some of these provide, you know, additional opportunities like workshops or field trips. But these are, you know, some of the partners that we are going to be working with this year, and a number of them, you know, we've been working with for years. So we're super excited to be partnering with them again.
And just want to jump in and call out 2 new ones this year. We are partnering with the Reef Line and Blue Missions. So both of those organizations focus a lot on ocean conservation. The Reef Line, if you are not familiar, for those that might not have heard and not live in Miami Beach, but it is a coral reef conservation and art exhibit that is going to be installed in off the coast of Miami Beach. And there it's like just what it is. It's a reef to have these restoration where they're growing local oh my God, I'm blanking. The corals, there you go. Alex, if you would like some more information, Alex just put their website on the chat. It's a really cool project. And I think the first installations are going in September. So we work with them to do some hopefully with more to come related to ocean conservation and reef restoration. With Blue Missions, we will send out some more information about some of the resources that they have specifically for high schools. So they'll be at our September 20th event. So some of these partners that you see here, including Youth Environmental Alliance, Solar United Neighbors, Live Arts Miami, will have resources at the September 20th event. So again, if you're able to come or send somebody else from your school, that event will provide more information on these partnerships.
And so a continued partnership that we are going to have again this year is with Live Arts Miami. So this is part of Miami-Dade College. And what we've done is cultivated a series of workshops with artists that will come into your classrooms to do a certain number of workshops, either music, songwriting, dance, or zines. So these are unfortunately only available to schools in Miami-Dade. But you know, it's a great opportunity to get an artist into the classroom, get the students interested in music, in songwriting, in the movement of dance, or creating zines or magazines. And then do you want me to play the video, Bowman?
Maybe we could can we just do the link? I think maybe if we
Yeah,
want to get
I can
everybody
share
at
the video.
5:30.
Yep, yeah, no
Yep.
problem, no problem.
And just to be completely open, and call out that these workshops must be completed by December 19th. We unfortunately lost some funding from the state for this program, as well some other funding because of, again, just things that are happening. And so we unfortunately do not have this opportunity for the entire year. We're only limited to do these workshops by December 19th, and they are for elementary, middle, and high school. So I know that especially the Earthburst and National Water Dance movement have been going on at the high school level. Green zines are great for middle and high as well. And I think Recycled Orchestra more for K-8. But again, please sign up for those as quickly as you can, because we do have a hard stop due to lack of funding to continue some of our programming.
Yeah. So when you complete the registration form, it'll ask you for 3 possible dates. And then someone from Live Arts Miami will be connecting with you and picking a date. So hopefully the sooner you get those in, we can, you know, get those on the calendar and you'll get them this half of the year. And then I just want to call out some special opportunities. These again are with those partners that we listed before. Some of them are providing field trip opportunities, specifically Youth Environmental Alliance and also Blue Missions. Scientists in Every Florida School, they provide virtual sessions where a scientist can zoom into your classroom to address students. And then Miami-Dade Eco Adventures through the Park Service, they provide also field trips, but there's a cost. But the Green Leadership's grants could cover that cost for you. So this is all in the guidebook, but I just want to call out some of these special opportunities from partners that we have.
And I want to make sure that you all know that we can also go to your school to do a presentation. We love to do like staff presentations. Like if you want to encourage more and build a team, we can go out and do the similar presentation or a professional development at your school with your teachers related on how to participate, you know, obviously more in detail and hands-on. But we also do presentations for students. In fact, I just confirmed I'm doing one at Coral Reef Senior High in September. And so we've done it from elementary all the way to high school. We work with you on the theme that you would like. We have for high school, green careers. We have a presentation related to green careers. For middle and elementary, we have more of like environmental stewardship, what is, you know, climate change and how our actions affect our local environment. So If you're interested, there is a link in our guidebook, but you could also always contact us if you have a special request.
Okay. And then I think one of the last big things we want to touch on is kind of where we align with the school districts themselves, with Miami-Dade, Broward, and with Palm Beach. So, you know, we've worked very hard to cultivate these relationships, and we have become official partners for all three of the school districts, which is great. And really, we want to support what the school district is doing. We want to support what you're doing in your classroom and in your school. So these are some of the ways that we align with the school districts. So the first one with Miami-Dade County Public Schools is the newly launched, newly second or third year now, the Green Schools Recognition Program. So the Green Schools Challenge supports this recognition program. Within the application, there are multiple categories where GSC can be included. I know specifically the curriculum integration, the school-wide culture, and then the school sustainability. So if you would get that, the rubric or whatever that Carly Polito provides, you'll see the Dream in Green name in there several times. So if there are multiple things, as Barbara mentioned, you know, where you can double dip, that what you do for one can also apply to what you're doing for the other. So that's how we want to support that program. And then the other one is through the STEAM designation, and this has been going on for a long time. But we do support the STEAM office and Chris Carranza and his team by being an official STEAM partner. So if you participate in the Green Schools Challenge, you do get points towards your STEAM designation. There is a minimum number of activities that you have to complete, which is the beginning of the year and half of those 6 monthly topics by the due date. And then there's nothing you need to do. I will submit a list to the STEAM office of schools that have completed that. But if STEAM designation is something you're interested in, or going towards, you know, gold, silver, whatever level you're trying to achieve, we can definitely support in that by participating. And then for Broward County Public Schools, we are closely aligned with the P3 Eco Challenge. Specifically in the categories of, you know, school sustainability and curriculum integration. Like I mentioned, we are an official partner with the school district, so, you know, we do support their STEM office as well. But specifically through the P3 Eco Challenge, or the Green Schools Challenge, you know, supports certain components of that. So if that's something you're interested in, if you need any supporting material from us, we're happy to provide that. But we work with Victor Suarez and his team for the Eco Challenge and supporting that initiative as well. And then lastly, with the School District of Palm Beach County, with the Green Champion School Program, we're supporting Nicole Blackson and Lisa Toy and their team through the Sustainability Schools Program. I know that she has shared, or she will share with you, those choice boards, and several of those activities do overlap with the activities that we're asking you to complete from the Green Schools Challenge activities as well. So again, we want to align, we want to double dip, we want to make sure that you're not doing something extra. So that's why we want to make sure we fit in with what you're being asked to do from the school district, and that's why we work directly with them. And then I just want to call out that we will be at the Sustainability Symposium in October for Palm Beach County.
And just for Miami-Dade County Public School teachers, specifically mentioning the Green Schools designation program or recognition, I know that we've talked to a couple of teachers that are not sure how to submit for that. Both Alexandra and myself has served as judges for the past 2 years. And so if you need help, I know sometimes that application is done by, you know, somebody else that might not be have intimate knowledge as to what the Green Schools Challenge does. And everything that you do, we can show you where it aligns to the Green Schools Recognition Program. The same thing with, you know, Orange County has a very similar one. Literally, we can show you, okay, if you did this lesson, energy efficiency, this is where you can put it for that green schools recognition program for Miami-Dade County Public Schools. Alexandra and myself are more than happy to help you provide documentation. But again, pictures, please make sure you're taking pictures. And some of the other suggestions that some other teachers have said about how to keep track, those entry forms, examples of work from the lessons that you're doing, any projects, all of that is what you will submit for STEAM designation and for the Green Schools Recognition Program. And for the others, P3 and Green Champions as well.
And thank you, Genevieve. Yeah, if you need to connect with the sustainability officer for the Green Schools Recognition Program, we can share her contact information as well if you don't get the form from your principal. So I think we're going to take a couple minutes now just to kind of go over the website, the curriculum, if you're, for teachers that need a refresher and those that are definitely new on where we can find a lot of the information that we've been talking about. You can see what, these score sheets look like, or these submission forms look like, and all that. Barbara, you can see my screen now, right?
I can.
Okay.
And while you are putting it up, I'm going to launch just another quick poll to see if we have elementary, middle, or high school representatives in the room or other, just to maybe walk through, pick that particular level.
Yeah. Okay. But I also just dropped in the chat, if you already registered your school, you should have the link to the guidebooks, but I'll be sending out an email after this. But if you ever get lost and don't remember, can't find the email, you can just go to our website, dreamandgreen.org. And then under the programs, you'll see the Green Schools Challenge and then the curriculum. So that will bring you to this page here where you can see the 3 guidebooks, the elementary, middle, and high school.
And Alex, I'm going to give just 5 more seconds. It looks like, obviously, it looks like elementary is represented. We have about 13 teachers, 14 teachers at the elementary school level. So yeah, maybe we'll do the elementary. But as Alexander said, the format of the guidebooks are exactly the same for elementary, middle, and high. Obviously, the lessons are different for each level. And again, some opportunities will be different. So take it away.
Perfect. Yeah. So again, it's all going to be the same for all 3, but basically, you have your homepage, information on us, this graphic that we've already shown you here. If you would like to request a site visit, you'll also see that on the homepage. And then, we do align with the Sustainability Development Goals, the UN Sustainability Development Goals, and that more information you can find here. But on the left, you're going to find all your tabs for everything that you're going to need. I won't go through all of them, but if you need more information on how to earn points, when things are due, that's all going to be over here. We do create a calendar of events where, as you can see here, the training today, and a list of important dates. As you can see, that April 24th pops up a lot because that's going to be the final due date for everything. All of the special opportunities that we talked about today, you'll find in the special opportunities with direct links on how you can register for field trips, for workshops, anything like that. It'll be all directly in here.
And I know somebody was asking about where to register for the live arts workshops. That's where you can find it.
You can pick which one you would like to. Yeah. So we have the beginning of the year activities. And then you can see for each of the pillars, and there is a submission form for each. So just for example, for the environmental self-assessment that we talked about that somebody had asked, this is what the Google form looks like. We do collect information on email and the school so that I can award the points for you completing the assessment. And I know Barbara mentioned that there is kind of, a breakdown of who the form is for. So, as there's a section for your administrators to complete, for facility staff to assist you, and then some questions that you can answer as well. But, you know, basically, like we said, just getting a snapshot of, you know, what your sustainability efforts are at your school. If you do, you know, talking about the AC and leaks and turning off the lights, that kind of thing. So that's all within that form. And then same with, you know, the environmental goal. You'll let us know which of the environmental goal you'll go for and kind of your plan for the year. And everything, all the submission forms, while they're, you know, embedded into each of the pages, we also have created a one-stop shop for all of them here. So as long as you follow the menu on the left-hand side, you will find everything that you need. If you're interested in applying for a grant, you would just select the Green Leadership Grant tab and then just complete the submission form here.
And Alex, I just want to answer a question that came in. So how do we share the form? So there's a PDF that you can print out before submission. If you go to that first, yeah, you see
Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. Here.
Yep, where it says sample PDF. You can print this out, and then that would help you to pass that along to whoever needs to be filled out.
Perfect, thank you. So then we have the 6 sustainability topics. So here you have those 3 lessons that we created. So for middle and high school, you'll only see 1, or the option to create your own, which is in all of them. But here are the 3 for the elementary level. So for example, for the pre-K first grade lesson for energy is all about wind power. And here you can see the lesson in the format that we already discussed. Anything, resources, links, everything should be embedded here, and as well with the benchmarks. So once you complete the lesson, how do you submit? So there's going to be a submission form for each of the activities that you'll find on the same page. And it's just going to ask you, you know, who was participating in the activity, how many students, staff, parents, which activity did you complete? And then we would like some feedback on the activity, and then any supporting material would be uploaded here. So if you have any photos, if you have videos, if you have, you know, copies of student work. So for some of the activities, we do ask, you know, students to write an essay or to create a design or a drawing or something like that. We don't need the whole class's work. Just 1 or 2 examples would suffice. So just give us a little bit of a snapshot of what the students' work looked like. But we definitely don't need, you know, 20 to 30 examples of the same activity. So that's all uploaded through the Google Drive here. And then you're done for energy. And then you can move on to water, and you can see it's the same format, but now you have 3 new lessons, all having to do with water quality and conservation. And then also a submission form here.
And just scroll down a little bit. Below all of the lessons in the submission form, we provide we provide a description on why this topic is important. This changes every year. And in fact, our high school students are the ones that create these. So it's really interesting to see what their response is to these questions. And we also tie them in with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So these lessons hit 13 and 14, and there's also always a link to learn more about what those mean.
And then I just want to point out the bonus activities. Here you can see that table again. And then here is the submission form for that. So you would submit 1 form per activity. So if you did a beach cleanup, you would do a form. If you did a sneaker drive, you would do another form. But here you can see, excuse me, the drop-down list of that table. And then if you do, you know, have one that's not on this list, feel free to select other and let us know, give us more information on what that activity was. And then I think then we have the end of the year activities that we talked about. So there'll be a teacher survey here, the assessment for the environmental goal. Again, that'll be a Google form. And then your Eco Summit, if you choose to do one. Again, here we have some more examples of what that could look like, some more guidance, and then also a submission form letting us know, what activity you completed, how many people, was the community involved, things like that. And then I think the last thing I want to call out is this training resource. So we do have a training video. It's about 12 minutes long, that you can, refer back to or to share with other teachers to get kind of a snapshot of what the Green Schools Challenge looks like. So that lives here. And then we've also created some videos on guiding you through this guidebook. So specifically how to enroll your school, how to find the curriculum, how you apply for a grant, and it'll give you step-by-step instructions. Again, if you're interested in having our staff come out to address your teachers at your school, you can make that request here. We do provide a parent letter in Spanish and Haitian Creole. So that way, if you want to share with your parents, with your kids' parents on what they're working on. And then I think that's anything else, Barbara, you want me to call out?
The additional resources page, I just realized I was on mute.
Yeah.
So we have worked in the past, and we continue to update additional opportunities for schools, additional funding, some resource guides for activities to do at home. We created those during COVID. So those can work as supplemental activities. And I think at the bottom is just some additional curriculums as well.
Yeah, other national organizations and things like that. And Bike to Walk to School Day is the national movement. So, yeah. And then did we want, and let's see, Ms. Goody asked for how long our presentation. There you go. All right, Barbara answered. And then something we've created, and I just want to call out, I don't think Barbara will go through the whole document together, but if you can drop the link in the chat.
We'll do right now.
This is something I suggest you look through and reflect after this call, because this is the document that includes all of the lessons that we've created for the school year for all of the topics. So it has the elementary, middle, and the high school with, what benchmarks it aligns with and what the objectives are. So if you're not ready to, go through the actual website and click on each of the activities, this can give you a snapshot of, okay, where can I possibly fit this in throughout the year?
And I know that in previous years, we've mentioned this before, so I want to mention it again for newer teachers. You can interchange just because, for example, you're in a third grade classroom, doesn't mean you can't do maybe the fourth grade lesson or the first grade lesson. The same thing with the middle schools. If you're in a middle school and you really like the high school lesson, do the high school lesson. We are in the process of creating a separate website or a separate link where we will highlight all of the previous lessons we've done since 2018, so that I know a lot of teachers have asked me, well, I want to do more than one lesson for transportation. Do you guys have any ideas? Well, yeah, we have 19 years of ideas. And so we just haven't had the capacity to be able to put a nice kind of website together that has all of those lessons, but we are working on it. But in the meantime, take a look at the energy efficiency lessons we have. And if you work with, students that you think can, do the higher level or like the next grade level up lesson, please do that. The same thing with the high schools. I know that sometimes if you're teaching ninth grade, there might be some students that are still at the beginning of the year a little bit more in like the middle school capacity. Feel free to use the middle school lessons. All you would have to do is when you fill out the form, you would just let us know in the form itself. I did the energy efficiency lesson, but I did the one for elementary, middle, or whatever you did, and give us, and just continue with the rest of the questions.
Perfect. So we already talked about the September 20th training, but just to kind of piggyback on what Barbara was saying, I know it's a lot of information we threw at you in the last hour and a half, and we don't want it to feel like it's too much. We've worked hard to develop this program to make it in a way that it's complementary to what you're already doing. We know that, your teachers, you're doing so much already. We don't want this to be an extra thing that you have to do. I mean, this program is free, it's voluntary, it's flexible. You can do whatever you want. You can take as much as you want, as little as you want. Obviously, the more activities and lessons you complete, then the more points you get as far as, the Green Schools Challenge. But I mean, at the end of the day, we are here to provide you with the tools and the resources. So, if you're not ready to do 6 lessons and all of the beginning and all of the end because it's the first year, I mean, take what you can and see, start with the green team and the pledge. I mean, I think that will start the foundation for cultivating a program, to cultivating that, mindset that we talked about, to get to that whole school sustainability. We are here to provide this program, to provide you with support. That's why we want to align it with what the school districts are doing, aligning it with the state standards so that, this is something you can incorporate and integrate into what you're already doing, and not, thinking this is an extra add-on, and we don't want to add hours and hours to your work week already. So please think about how you can integrate it, and be mindful, that we're here to support you. And if you have any questions, to reach out to myself, especially, or Barbara. But, I am leading the program, and I'm here to support you, to answer your emails. Don't ever think that you're sending me too many emails. That is what I am here to do for you. So don't hesitate to reach out.
And before we get to the Q&A, I just want to share this document that we will have up. And this is an overview of the entire curriculum and partners and additional opportunities with the new initiatives that we just mentioned. The Green Homes Challenge, we have extensions, as we mentioned, some of our other partners. If you're participating in the Fairchild Challenge, we have tied the lessons to some of the challenges that you're going to be doing for Fairchild. And basically, the lesson that we provide is, a way to introduce the concept to get your students ready for that, for participation in that challenge. This year, the theme, for example, for the environmental debates, we took a cue and worked with their team to try to create a lesson that would directly help students research and collect information for that. We also have extensions, and those extensions are a way to continue the lesson. They're not necessary for the lesson for you to do the extension exercise. Again, they're kind of a way to take the lesson to the next level. And so you can see that specifically, I know at the high school level, we will be focusing on doing another showcase with their upcycling clothing. The design and build competition is part of the Green Living Buildings and Careers. And here are some of the other themes that we have for the coming year, excuse me. And I think with that, Alex, if you want to reshare your slide, there you go.
And I'll be sending out the recording, the presentation, anything we shared in the chat, the links, I will share that all in an email tomorrow for you. So, and I'm hoping that by then, whoever is not registered yet will register their school, because that we still have some teachers here today that haven't registered yet. So hopefully I'll send a gentle reminder along this week as well.
Yes, and I know we haven't shared yet the registered schools for this year, but if, as Alexander said, if you have not received an email directly from her in the last week or 2 weeks, then you're probably not registered. If you haven't gotten like, thank you for registering, then you might want to reach out to us. To be
And
able
only
to
this,
make
only
sure.
you only need to do one registration per school, not per teacher, just per school.
And if you have K through 8, for example, or 6 through 12, if you're in a combination school, you don't have to register those levels differently. You just register your school, and then you can participate for the competition in both levels. So it depends on the lessons you submit. So if you want to compete for both the elementary and the middle, for example, you would then have to do elementary level lessons or fill out the elementary form, and let us know that you are for submitting this for the elementary portion or doing it at the middle school level, 6th grade, for example, and this is for the middle school. So then you can one registration, but you can get points for both both or all three of your K through 12 school, depending on what you submit to us, and depending on what we get is where your points. And if you have questions again about whether you submitted something, whether you got points for something, whether what your score looks like, please reach out to us, and we'll get that information. And yes, that is the office number right there. And if Alex and I are going to stick around for a couple more minutes, if just in case anybody has any questions. Again, we want to thank you all for spending your afternoon with us. It is a real pleasure to see so many familiar faces, to welcome so many new teachers. As I mentioned at the beginning, we're really excited about the programming we have this year. We're looking to get your feedback, and thank you for taking this journey with us and believing in our mission of environmental stewardship. Bye, everybody. Again, Alex and I will stick around if anybody has any specific questions. Susie, you have a question? Or are you saying bye?